What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. So, I've just watched Canelo, Carrot Top Alvarez versus Jaime Munguia. Now, it's a shame actually, I didn't check the odds, but I assume the odds are probably like 5-1 for Carrot Top. And I thought, I was seeing some of Munguia's bits, and I thought he was too loosey-goosey, truth be known. I thought he's going to be way too loose as a goose, and Carrot Top's going to find holes in him, glaring holes. And really, I hate to say it, but I think the fight was close. I call it spade spade. Obviously, Carrot Top won. There's no doubt in that. Carrot Top definitely won, yeah. But when I heard 117, 110, you bugging. This was a 115, 112 fight with the knockdown. Because Carrot Top, yeah, he was finding holes, yeah, but this wasn't a case of, like we saw with Devin Haney. Devin Haney gets put down, yeah, and that's why this guy here, Munguia, yeah, he a real fighter. He get put down. He don't rock his whole world. It don't change his whole paradigm of the game. Same as, and you know what? Munguia is more Mexican style than Carrot Top. Carrot Top, yeah, gets popped in the mouth. He ain't want to fight no more. He on the back foot against Bivol. Fact. Munguia goes down, gets his cherry popped for the first time in his career, and it literally made no impact. He didn't suddenly start trying to box and dance around the place. He was doing exactly what he was doing, arguably erroneously sorry. In as much as in the first 2 rounds, yeah? Was it the first 2 rounds? Something like that. Certainly, 2 of the first 3 rounds, Munguia won them. And he was keeping it at mid-range. Munguia looked massive. I mean, he's supposed to be smaller than Canelo, in principle. In as much as Carrot Top's been at 168 for like years now, and Munguia's moved up from 154. So he's supposed to be the small man. He was a big ass dude in there. He had the length. And his jab and whatnot. At points in them first 3 rounds, it was looking Bivol-esque, yeah? Super busy, touching him all over. Carrot Top's like, lost in the sauce. But then Munguia, and I was egging him on, I can't lie. I was egging, go on Munguia, have a go, and then obviously in round 4, whoop, and it clipped him. But he got popped, yeah? His cherry got popped. End of the day though, he got straight back up, and it did not define the fight, if that makes sense. It didn't. In fact, Munguia's loss tonight, or Munguia losing his cherry, Munguia's loss, it wasn't a life-defining loss. If that makes sense. It really made no difference that Munguia went down. Yeah? He didn't suddenly start backpedaling. He didn't suddenly start grabbing. So stop. I'm sick of people saying things like, oh, Devin Haney. Listen, it's not just Devin. But that's the recent example. There's many fighters who don't fight like that. You look at AJ. AJ goes down against Ruiz in the first fight, and he's fallen off for 5 years. AJ didn't carry on doing what he was doing in the first rounds of the Ruiz fight after he got knocked down. He got knocked down and started trying to dance around the place. What's that about? What are they doing there? Stop it. And don't tell me about how you're a warrior. That can never be the case. You could never be a big bully fighter, yeah? Get put down and then want to backpedal. That is, you could never be a warrior doing that kind of stuff. That just tells me you're a on-top fighter. I'm good at beating people up, but when it comes to taking a shot, I don't really want to know anymore. So Munguia, he gets put down, and I think even in that, immediately, he's back on. I mean, again, nothing changed here from Munguia's point of view. He was arguably too aggressive. Because the times he kept it simple, yeah, that jab was going, a few combinations, it was when he started going for 6 and just opening up. I thought, oh, it's a bit too much. Staying a little bit too long there. He didn't need to do that either. At least in the first. Now, Alvarez says, well, I was warming into the fight. But I don't know. Because it was looking the same way as the Bivol fight looked. That Carrot Top was being overwhelmed and didn't really have no answers. I couldn't believe the commentary. The commentary was shocking. Oh, this is a masterclass by Carrot Top. Listen. I've got to say this as well. Maybe I'm a Carrot Top hater, yeah? I like to think I'm quite unbiased. Yes, I was rooting for Munguia. Not that lie. I wasn't rooting for Munguia until I saw the fight, if that makes sense. Until I was in there and I saw, oh damn, he's doing something. That's when I was rooting for him. Off the rip, I assumed he was going to get smoked by Carrot Top. I thought, oh, it's going to be easy work. He too loose as a goose, and Carrot Top going to find something. But Carrot Top really ain't find nothing. Look at Munguia's face. Perfect example. Carrot Top's face is all red and whatnot. Munguia, yeah, he had a mark here and a mark there, but he wasn't beat up. And the DAZN commentators were woeful. Oh, sucking Carrot Top off. Oh, this is the best Canelo I've ever seen. Oh my god, this is a better performance than Charlo. What are you on about? And again, that's another point I want to make. About Charlo, Callum Smith, all them man who don't come to fight. Yeah, don't tell me about, oh, Callum Smith here, warrior. He ain't a warrior. Munguia a warrior. Munguia was throwing his hands from the first round, despite being put down. He was doing exactly what he was doing. I'm not gonna lie, was it having great effect? No, but he was having a go, right? No, you can't watch that Munguia fight and say Munguia didn't have a go. Even a hating ass DAZN commentator said, he's the first guy in years to turn up. He's the first guy at 168 in years to turn up and have a go with Carrot Top. And I put an effort in, and two came to win. Munguia came to win. Callum Smith ain't come to win. Rocky Fielding ain't come to win. Plant, he can't punch. So he might have come. He come to run around, but that's what he does, right? Who else is it who went in there? Billy Ho again. He can't punch, so he kind of came to. I don't know what he came to do, but for sure we know Jermell Charlo ain't come to fight. We know for sure Callum Smith ain't come to fight. Them two dudes didn't do nothing, not once, for 12 rounds. Munguia at points had Carrot Top going, or it's not going, but it looked that way, right? He was pressed. Carrot Top was pressed. Carrot Top started looking like he did against Bivol. It was just lacking the consistency. Them early rounds here, that's what Bivol was able to do for the next 10. Whereas Munguia, he fell in love, that's what the commentators were saying. I've never watched Munguia before, but they said before that Munguia is known, he gets greedy. He might find success, he gets greedy and he just kind of goes back to what he always does, but it's not a bad trick, is it? It's not a bad trick to have a go. I'd rather that though, yeah? I'd rather it be a case of, well, he gets a bit of success and gets lost in it and wants to have some more than the other way, which is the other way which people fight Canelo with. Oh, they have no success and then just don't want to get knocked out. That's whack. Munguia, not once in this fight, went into a self-preservation mode. He never stopped trying to win. He was clearly, he didn't have the, listen people, alright, he didn't have the, I'm not sure what you'd call it. The shots weren't having an effect on Alvarez, but equally, Alvarez wasn't active. Alvarez wasn't beating Munguia up. This wasn't domination. In fact, Alvarez was spending most of the fight going backwards, which is the part I've made for years. He's not a Mexican style fighter. He's not. He's good at, Alvarez looks Mexican style when he ain't in there with a real Mexican, as we found out tonight. Because tonight, even though Carrot Top had more power and more finesse, he still was on the back foot, running. Fact. And Munguia, despite getting put down, he was the one, for the most part of the fight, pressing the action. But when Alvarez, when he's in there with someone who's sweet, yeah, Callum Smith, Plant, Billy Ho, Charlo, oh, he looks super Mexican style. He stalks them forward. I ain't seen him take a back step against them, man. Just storming forward. Have him on the ropes all night. I didn't see much. Honestly, I saw Munguia on the ropes maybe 2 times. I saw Carrot Top on the ropes a whole bunch. So this fight, it was more than, if you look at the result, it looks like, oh, Alvarez blew him out. No. Alvarez, I mean, I can see now why Alvarez don't want to fight Benavidez, if I'm honest. Because this tonight was underwhelming. Yeah? In a way, Munguia is just a smaller version and a less finessed version of Benavidez. He's got the cardio, the same kind of output, but Benavidez is more refined. And I think he's probably a bit quicker as well. And he's bigger. Bigger, more refined and quicker. Alvarez, he don't want that. He don't want that. I believe tonight we saw the limits of what Carrot Top could look okay with. And even then he was losing rounds here and there. It was not a domination. He was not causing critical damage ultimately, people. He wasn't. That's just not what was happening. He wasn't causing critical damage. Even the knockdown, he put him down and Munguia got back up and nothing changed. If that makes sense. So I do think, have we seen Alvarez's best days? Or is Alvarez just fighting better guys? I think he's fighting better. No one expected Munguia to be better, but ultimately Munguia, and I've been saying it for years, but this is what people having some heart can do. Yeah? If you have some heart, if you want to fight, it might get you somewhere. All these other cornballs who lose 12 rounds, Charlo lost 12 rounds straight. Callum Smith lost 12 rounds straight. whoever else you want lost 12 rounds straight because they got no heart. And they even come to have a go. They come there, ooh, I'll just put my guard up and just protect myself, and then complain afterwards how I only have 6 weeks. What has 6 weeks got to do if you have not put an effort in? Yeah? If you had 6 weeks to train, go in there and do 4 rounds properly and then say, oh, my wheels fell off and I lost gas. He ain't do that. Callum Smith ain't lose gas. Charlo ain't lose gas. They just don't want to fight. They don't want to do what they're paid to do. And Alvarez, he ain't that explosive, as we found out tonight. Munguia's obviously got a great chin, but really, he ain't that powerful. Who's he smoked? Okay, Amir Khan. That's the only guy I know, 140-pound Amir Khan. That's the only person Alvarez smoked. And Kovalev, who off the whiskey and vodka. Come on, stop. 60-year-old Kovalev off the whiskey and vodka. Who else he smoked? Sparko. No, he's not a puncher like that. He's more of a... He'll whack you and he'll hurt you. He's not a knockout artist. Alvarez ain't. That's what he's not. And that proved that tonight, because Munguia's head got rattled a few times. Didn't do nothing. Even the knockdown didn't do nothing really, did it? It didn't define the fight. It didn't stop Munguia coming forward. It didn't stop Munguia's game plan, which was, like I said, erroneous, if I'm honest. It's a shame, really, Munguia lost discipline, because I believe, well, maybe Alvarez would have found a way. I mean, the DAZN kind of sucker offers, they're trying to convince you that, yeah, no, Alvarez was planning this all along. He was planning to get his head boxed off for 3 rounds, and he'd have found... I'm not so convinced. He looked a bit flat to me. Until that knockdown came, I think Carrot Top was looking like he's about to cry again. Until that knockdown came, yeah, I could see it in Carrot Top's eyes. He was saying to himself, oh no, not another Bivol, not another 5-1 underdog about to beat my ass again. And then he found that shot, yeah, and that kind of flipped the script. Alvarez thought, oh, okay, it's not going to be one of them nights again. But until that point, I could see it in his eyes. You can watch him. He's cowering to the ropes. He's like, oh, this guy on my ass. Like a rash. Yeah, Carrot Top was reverting to what he does when he's getting his ass beat, which is cower to the ropes and just cover up and look all stupid looking. That's what he does. I'm just telling you. When Carrot Top getting his ass beat, yeah, he cower back to the ropes. He ain't as bad as Devin Haney. He ain't going to be grabbing dudes' ankles and shit. But it's about reading the signs. We know when Devin Haney gets clipped, he's trying to hug something. He ain't trying to fight nothing. Yeah? Not trying to fight, not even one thing. Because he's not a fighter like that, people. He's not. Stop calling him, oh, but YB, he's been in the ring. I don't care if he's been in the ring. There's levels to being in the ring. You can't just put... Everyone who gets in the ring isn't the same level. Yeah? Not everyone who gets in the ring makes it to Warriors Paradise. Makes it to Valhalla. Munguia make it there. Yeah? Nothing changed it. He just didn't have the pop, essentially. He was banging, he was throwing... I mean, if you're throwing 60 punches, nothing's getting through. What else are you supposed to do? Essentially give it his best shot. Give it a fair go, man. And I think I also respect Munguia over Devin Haney, because I thought, listen people, stop. I thought the Munguia fight was closer than Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, with 7 knockdowns. So Devin Haney got his ass beat, can't even stand up, and he's jumping on the ropes celebrating. Whereas Munguia, it was somewhat of a close fight in my opinion, and he took his loss. He said, listen, I lost. I know I lost. He didn't try to put his arms up and try and see if he can get a fake decision. He said, you know what, took my beats, and fair enough. But again, Devin Haney, Canelo, they haven't got that in them. When Carrot Top got whooped by Bivol, he on the rope celebrating. You got your ass beat. There's nothing warrior-ish here about knowing, we all know you lost. You know you lost. Carrot Top. You know you lost. That's why you didn't want to fight Bivol again. So why are you fronting for, trying to get a robbery decision? Same as Devin Haney. You know you lost. Why are you jumping on the ropes for? And even if you think you might have won, even if Devin Haney had a thought he might have won, yeah? The amount of times you got stanky-legged, as a man, you should say, listen, man, even if I think I won this fight, I best to stay humble and be disappointed. You can see Munguia. Munguia was disappointed. His cherry got popped. And he hit the mat for the first time. He was disappointed that he lost. That's how you should feel. Don't be fronting, though. Don't be doing all that, oh, well, we robbed Loma. Oh, we beat Loma on a close one, so let me just jump up on the thing and pretend. This is whack. Oh, let's go home and have a celebration party and shout and still. It's not, I'm sorry, it's fugazi behaviour, people. It's not real man shit. You got your ass beat, that's the bottom line. Yeah? Devin Haney ass got beat. Nothing to celebrate, not one thing. Look at Munguia. He ain't, and still, he ain't doing all that shit. It's whack. corny. That's what it is. Yeah? It's embarrassing to watch. Devin Haney got his people there his mum drop on the floor from low blood pressure. Yeah? You're putting your peoples into cardiac arrest. And you're someone to celebrate. What the fuck? Your mum, Devin, you got your mum going through it. How can a man have his mum going through it like that, yeah? Get up! Get up! How can you have your people then going through it like that and then pretend to celebrate? It's impossible. You got nothing to celebrate. Your mum on the floor in a big heap. Your sister them crying out. Get up! Munguia, look, he took his licks, man. I like Munguia. But my last thing I'll say is, it's a shame that Munguia couldn't hold his composure. I think he's a pretty young fighter, so it's not unusual. That said, though, the blueprint here, I mean, Bivol set the blueprint. Tight defense, keep it mid-range, step in, get some shots off, step out. And the jab as well. That jab, especially when you're taller than Carrot Top, that jab needs to be operating. And when Munguia did that, Alvarez couldn't do nothing. I swear to God. Now, obviously, like I said, the DAZN people say, well, Carrot Top was downloading information. Maybe he was. He weren't downloading no information, though, when Bivol was doing it to him. Popping him all over the place. There was no downloadings. I don't believe it. I'm telling you, I was seeing signs of him being re-traumatized. In that round, until that knockdown came, Carrot Top was thinking, oh shit, this is looking like the Bivol fight looked like. I could see it in his eyes. He was regressing into that state of like, oh, I just need to keep myself safe here and not get didified. Yeah, Carrot Top was worried about being didified. We know Diddy hasn't been picked up yet. We know he probably lurking in the crowd. He loved Vegas. Yeah, the sin of city of sin, Sin City. You best believe Diddy there. He stay posted there. So I reckon Carrot Top, he looked in the crowd, he saw Diddy posted there like, and oh shit, and he just trying to keep himself from being traumatized like Devin Haney. Understand? But obviously the knockdown came. But anyway, I keep missing the point I'm trying to make here. When Munguia kept it mid-range, Carrot Top had no answers, and Benavidez, who's quicker, bigger, maybe more powerful, maybe not, but he's certainly shorter. Benavidez, he don't really wing massive. He's a lot shorter in his shots. Munguia's, his arms are open when he's hooking. They're more wider. Benavidez is quicker, bigger, and more short, and more finessed, and he can also box to a game plan. Benavidez doesn't get greedy. In the most part, he's a matured fighter. So I think with them elements, Benavidez, having seen the Munguia fight now, having seen the Bivol fight, Benavidez will go in there, the jab will be going, stepping in, getting shots off, stepping out, and I think Alvarez will get his ass beat, from what I saw tonight. Yeah, this should have been, if Alvarez should have cut, because people forget this, yeah, like the whole narrative is, and I've been saying this for a while, but the whole narrative is, oh well, you know, Alvarez, he can't stop people because people don't come to fight. Oops. Yeah? Oops. That was the whole narrative. Oh, well, he couldn't stop Callum Smith because people were scared to fight him. Oh, he couldn't stop Jamal Charlo because they're scared to fight and all they came to do is survive. Now, whatever you say about Munguia, not one person can sit here and say he ain't come to fight. There was plenty of opportunity, yeah, for Carrot Top to find shots if he wanted to take them. That makes sense. So this proves that, even John Ryder to some extent, this proves that the whole narrative that, oh, Alvarez is this big, like, pressure fighter who'll beat you up and fight, whatever else, it's a lie. Carrot Top, he can't stop people who are running, and he can't stop people who stand spark in front of him. That's what we know now. John Ryder couldn't stop him. Munguia couldn't stop him. Triple G couldn't stop him. So, what is Alvarez's niche? His niche is, oh, I'm the big A side, and all I have to do is land like 2-3 punches around, and I win the round. That's what he was doing. He was picking, and there was no volume. There was no breaking down. There was nothing really super cool about it, if I'm honest. He was just landing clean, and Munguia kind of wasn't. But in terms of effort, in terms of who was going for it, I'm sorry, it was Munguia all day. That's why I believe the fight was closer, the way I score fights. Munguia was having a go. Who here watched that fight and said, oh, Alvarez had a go here? I saw Alvarez just sitting back and cruising. It was almost Floyd Mayweather-esque. Obviously not as skillful as Floyd, but it was like I'll keep my hands up and just pick little bits here and there. There was no... And that's what's always turned me off with Alvarez. There's never been no oomph about him. There's never been no, okay, let's now press now. Let's now press to get the stoppage. He's never pressed for a stoppage, even when he's fighting people who don't want to be there. Jamal Charlo, Callum Smith. He don't want to say, you know what, I'm going to take the Michael now and just be all over him like a rash. Again, why be what you're talking about? That's impossible. Beterbiev. You see what I'm trying to say? See the contrast there? Beterbiev, you can come in there and think you're going to... Beterbiev ain't letting you off the hook. Yeah? You can't just go in there, and even if you try and dance around, he's just going to walk you down and punch straight through you. That's what I'm saying. Alvarez is not like that. He's not that top tier like that. He's kind of like, he's almost like a jack of all trades. He ain't going to hunt you down. He's not worried about stopping you. He's not trying to take your head off. He's just trying to do, I'd say he's like a Mexican style Floyd. Yeah? I'm just going to pick little shots and, oh, yep, scored that one there. Oh, pick that round up. There's nothing really more to it. And I'm afraid to say that against Benavidez, I thought Alvarez was going to blow this guy out. And then I'd make a video saying, well, people, listen, in the day, Benavidez is similar to Munguia. He ain't got no power. That's my whole narrative's been Alvarez will just walk through Benavidez because he ain't got no power. Or I thought there was a chance Benavidez could feel Canelo's power and be shook. But this is proven now. Because we've seen so many corny ass fake fighters in there, like Charlo, like Callum Smith, who get hit once and then don't want to fight no more. It builds the illusion, oh my god, people can't take a shot from him, he's like Superman. Little ass 154 Munguia steps up in his first big fight essentially, and he's in there, and you wouldn't even know. You'd never watch this fight here and know that Alvarez is a massive puncher and a devastating puncher. You can't see it on the damage of Munguia's face. You can't see it in anything really, apart from the knockdown, which was a flash knockdown. There's nothing, you can't watch this fight and say, oh, Alvarez is a massive puncher. So, what's Alvarez going to do against Benavidez? He's not going to cut through him like I thought he would. Because if he could have done that, he'd have cut through Munguia. So yeah, I do think, if I'm honest, I think the problem is the judges going against Canelo. You have to win like 9-10 rounds to win against Alvarez. Can Benavidez do that? But I'm certainly, before, I told you, Alvarez 80-20. 80-20, he'll cut through Benavidez, but he ain't going to do nothing with Benavidez, I don't think. I think that fight's as close to 50-50 now, in my opinion, as it can get. And if anything, if Benavidez can follow a game plan, I'm probably leaning more towards him now. Because Alvarez, he just looks, he's missing, there's no head movement anymore, really. His feet are just flatter than ever. Not that he needs that, though. I've got no problem with plodding forward, but he don't even do that. He don't even plod forward and get on top of someone and put hands together. He just sits there and then it's lacking that. It's lacking what Munguia had, essentially. Munguia didn't have the firepower that Alvarez had, but yet he was still active. Alvarez has the firepower, but he don't let it go. He just, he's looking for the perfect shot. Which is cool, but you don't dominate fights like that, picking and prodding. Look at Beterbiev. He don't sit there picking and prodding and I'll punch when I'm only going to punch when he's not punching, or I'm only going to punch when he's punching he's trying to come through you. Clean through you. Irrespective of what you're doing. He don't have that. So I think it'll end up being a problem for Alvarez versus Benavidez, but he ain't going to fight him. That's what we know now. Because Munguia is a small version of Benavidez. Essentially. A small version. Dave Benavidez is brimming at 168, and Alvarez, he knows that. He said that. Alvarez said he too big. He my daddy. Yeah? Alvarez said, listen, I've already got a Japanese Russian daddy. I don't need a Mexican one too. That's what he said, 100%. Not my words. Carrot Top said that. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button, subscribe, like off the bell, 100%, no doubt.